You look at me in the eye. You should travel more. I encourage you to travel more. Fuck. Yes, guys. Today we are wearing Gucci because I'm going on a date. No, I'm kidding. I'm pretty alone. I'm kidding. So yeah, I want to tell you something first. You should travel more. You look at me in the eye. You should travel more. I encourage you to travel more. You know, if you're into like even if you're in your 30s or 40s, like but especially if you are in your 20s, travel a lot. Make mistakes. You know, ruin your life. I'm kidding. Don't ruin your life. Do drugs. I'm kidding. Don't do drugs. Try alcohol. Yeah, you can try alcohol, but not get drunk, you know? Because I'm going to tell you why traveling has made me find myself. You know, this is why traveling has made me find myself. You know, I know what I want now. I might be 28, but I finally found myself. You know, so welcome back to the weird. Welcome back to the welcome back to Born Weird podcast. This is your host, Gifted, and I'm the voice of the boys. And if you're a girl, you are an intruder. So get the. I'm kidding. Don't go away. You're gonna stay. I'm a kind of snitch. I'm going to snitch everyone. No, I'm kidding. But please don't tell my secrets or our secrets, you know, the men's secrets. So yeah, I'm excited right now because I want to talk about everything. But first, I'm going to show you something. I have, look at my eye. Can you see my eye? I have, let me get closer to you. I have an sty on my eye. And it's itching a lot. I have an sty on my eye and it's itching a lot, you know. It's hurting. Like even doing this, I don't know how to say this, but doing this hurts a lot. So I'm going to use my glasses because I don't want you to see my sty, my infected eye. So yeah, guys, we have various topics, but the main one is you should travel more. Because if you feel that you don't belong to your city, if you feel that your friends don't get you, or if you feel that you are alone in this world, no, they may be more people, like there's more people in the world that might get you, you know, that might get the life or they might understand the life that you want to live, or maybe there's people out there that is already living your dream life, you know. So yeah, I travel a lot, not a lot, but I didn't miss any of my trips when I was a kid. But we are not here to talk about family trips. We are here to talk about adventure with friends trips, like solo trips, like everything, you know. First of all, you need to travel more in order to find yourself, you know, in order to find you, because you don't know what you want when you're 20. You don't fucking know. You don't have any clue that what you want, you know. So me, I'm the perfect example. I did not know until now what I want. But in the meantime, I found myself, you know? So yeah, maybe you are in your house, bored, like saying, I want to live in this country. I want to live in Mexico, or I want to live in Spain, or I want to live in the US. I don't want to live here in my place. I don't want to live. Maybe those are your first thoughts because you don't have any experience on traveling or on living on another country. But if you have the budget, if your family has the money, you know, the financial freedom to to put you on an university that is like outside your country, to put you in an international university, to put you in a university like in another country. Take it, like do it, bro, like do it. If you manage languages, if you know another languages, do it, because that's a key opportunity for you. Study abroad, meet new people. You are going to get a lot of experience by doing that. I sound like a fucking guru, I know, but I'm not selling you anything. I'm just telling my story. So yeah, I encourage you to travel, because when I was 18, I did my first trip with my friends. I did my first trip. We went to Mexico in 2018. We went to Mexico in the journey to pursue our dreams. I had two friends. One of them, their name was, I have two friends. I have two friends. Okay, I'm not going to say their names because this is a private story, but one of them was a music producer and the other one was in charge of the visuals. So my first friend, like friend number one, he was a DJ, he was a producer, he was a music producer and DJ. And also my other friend was helping him to make the visuals for the DJing thing, because you need visuals in the DJ world. You have these big screens like behind you, and you need to put some visuals in order to get the people more excited. I don't know, but yeah. So this was in my era of YouTube, when I was doing YouTube with this other friend that I already told you the story with this other friend, But I met these two guys and we connect immediately, because we have we have everything in common. At the time I was a DJ, but I was not DJing a lot because I was doing my shit for YouTube, because I try to do everything, to find myself. So I know about DJing, I know about Tomorrowland, I knew about the DJ scene, the DJ industry. I did not I knew about everything, because I was a big fan of the DJing industry. I knew all of the music. I knew all of the DJs. I was a pretty big fan, and I also was a DJ. So, and I also took DJing classes when I was like 16, 17. So I knew everything. So I met this guy. He was a little guy. He's a little guy. He's still my friend, but we are not that close anymore. But he reached out to me, and I was living my vida loca when I was 18, maybe. Yeah, when I was 18, I was living, going to parties, making content, typical teenager, typical crazy teenager. I was doing everything to please my parents and to please myself. So I was going out party to party a lot, because I was like known in my city a lot for partying and for doing content. So yeah, so I met these two guys and they offered me, like, this was my transition to making blogs, from making blogs to making music, because I was looking for someone to produce my songs. So yeah, so I put on a story on IG, and I got a response from the other dude, because they were a duo. It was this little guy and this big guy. They were a duo, They had a DJ name and shit, so they were legit DJs and producers. So I got reached out to him. Like I got like he reached out to me. Like he reached out to me, and I respond, and we plan to meet. We plan to we plan to meet each other. Like we plan to meet, and it was an instant click. Those guys were my people now. I was so in love with them. I was flabbergasted. I was impressed because they were like me. They were doing the same stuff. They were believing the same stuff. They wanted to pursue their own careers on the music industry. They wanted to get big on this kind of project, So I called them and I said to the little guy, because they were two, the little guy and the big guy. So they were polar opposites, But yeah. So I told the little guy, like, I want to start making music. Are you a producer, right? Yeah, I do produce electronic music, but I can try for you to produce reggaeton and trap, I can do that for you. And yeah, so we start to, like, we stay in close, like we stay connected, like we start to stay in touch a lot. So, but I don't. But at the end, I do not. How do I say this? But at the end, I do not. But I do not. But at the end, I did not do my first song with him because I got approached by another company, another label, to make my first song. So I go with them, with the label, and I kind of like separate. Like I kind of get away from those friends. So I did my first song with a label instead of them. But this is a story for another podcast because we are talking about traveling. So yeah. So they offered me to do my first song, but at the end we didn't do that. So I was vibing with these kids, with these people. So I was telling them, yeah, we should do this and we should do that. We should create a label. We should drop music. We should do a lot of stuff. So we get so bonded. Like we bond a lot that I offer my house. Yeah, guys, you can stay here. I can talk to my parents and you actually can stay here with me, because we are going to work on these projects. We are going to grow. We are going to do this and that. And that was fucking bullshit, but because we didn't do any of that. We were like going to parties, we were doing this and that, but not making music and not being productive, But the little guy was more intelligent, He was more intelligent. He was this mind. He's so driven. So he tells me, he knew that I have the money to go to another country just by asking my parents. So he tells me this: I got people from a label in Mexico. And we are going to. So I want you to come with me and my other friend, and maybe we can shoot content there. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we can shoot content there. Maybe we can start your music there. Maybe we can, meet them and maybe say something about it. So this was a big deal for me because I wasn't feeling like I was in the urge of having more stories to tell. More anecdotes, I was craving more stories. So, but it was a tough decision because my dad and my mom, I don't know if they are I didn't know at the time if they are gonna I was doubting because I wouldn't know. I didn't know if my parents would let me, at the time. So I told him, if you talk to my parents and they say yes, I'm 100% coming with you, and I'm doing it. So he talked with my parents. He saw him. They saw him. Like, we were 18, 17 at the time, so we were so young. So this is impressed. Like, I don't know. Maybe I was fucking crazy, but I trust these guys. Like, I met them for 3 months, and they were living with me, and they were living with me, and they were offering me trips to Mexico. So yeah, the little guy talked to my parents and convinced them to let me travel to Mexico. So yeah, 1 month later, we were flying to Mexico City. And I was so excited because I never in my life I would expect to go to Mexico, because the only reason that I can go to Mexico is because I was doing a, how do you say, escala? Because I was doing I was doing just a stopovers to go to the US to pass Christmas with my family. That's the only way. Like, that was the only reason that I was going to Mexico, just to do a stopover or a scale. I don't know how to say it, but in Spanish it's escala. So yeah, so this was the first time I will really go to Mexico, but I was scared because all the stories, I was judging a lot. I was judging, I was lacking a lot. I was scared. Like, I was like, oh my God, the narcos, no, fuck, I'm gonna get robbed. But I end up staying in one of the most dangerous places in Mexico City, the Great Ecatepec. So yeah, so a month later we were flying. So my mom and his mom, and the little guy mom, and the big one and the other guy's mom, like, we meet in the airport. They say bye to us. They say take care. They say, please take care, stay together, don't do bullshit, like, don't misbehave, please respect the house that you are going. Because he had a friend. I'm going to bleep his name, but I'm going to say that L. Okay, L. His name is L. So little guy had a friend on Mexico. His name was L. He had a pretty big chocolate factory, and he offered us to stay. So little guy pitched me the idea to go there. Pitched me the idea to go to Mexico, to start making music, to start doing content, to start making it real, to start making music, to start my career. So they convinced my parents. So 1 month later we were going. So we were on a plane traveling, and I was so fucking excited. Because it was my first time going. So, but I was scared, a lot. So at a time, this is a fact. At a time, my favorite place to go, it was the US, because the US had everything. For me, it was the best country. For me, it was, LA, all these industries, New York, I wanted to live there, I wanted to live in the US. I wanted to work there. I wanted to, to have a life there. But I was going to Mexico instead. So I didn't, compare those places because they are unique. But yeah. We were on a plane. We were going to Mexico with no stopovers or layovers, directly a non-stop flight. And we get there, and a friend, I don't know his name, like picked us up in a fucking taxi. These pink taxis, and obviously it wasn't permitted for taxis to do pickups there in the airport on that entrance. So he took the risk, and yeah, the police robbed us. The police fucking robbed us money. They asked for $300 to let us go. Like, what the heck, man? Like, what the heck? The trip don't even started and the police is already robbing us money. So I was flabbergasted, and I told, like, okay, it's all right, let's go. So we need to get to this place, and I asked my friend, where is this place? Where is this place? Like, I want to eat first and then go. So we get to eat with something, with tacos. It was delicious. Tacos are the best food in the world. Like, I'm into tacos a lot. I love burritos, tacos. If you get me Mexican food all my life, I will not complain, because Mexico food is not just tacos. It has everything, it has, it's so complete, So I wouldn't mind if you give me tacos all my life, or I wouldn't mind if I marry a Mexican. I know they're toxic, but I wouldn't care, because I love the food. So yeah, so we get to this place with tacos, blah 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 blah, and we get to, oh my god! So the taxi left us in a highway. Yes, the taxi left us in a fucking highway with our luggage, and we enter. No, bro. And we get to this place, and El, the Mexican friend, received us, and it was okay, but he forgot to tell his brother that we are going to stay. So he told us, go, please, my brother is coming, he's going to get so mad, please go. So we didn't knew we were in Ecatepec, one of the most dangerous states or districts in Mexico. Please go search up Ecatepec. Go search it up. Bro, I didn't know that I was on one of the scariest and dangerous districts in Mexico. So I would like, so we get out of the house as quick as possible. We run, and I think we went to a hotel, maybe. But later they told us, oh no, yeah, we got to another friend's house, I think, or I don't know, I don't remember, but I think we got to another friend's house for a few days. His name was Dollar, his AKA. So Dollar received us. We didn't knew him, like we barely knew him. Like, little guy, yeah, he would know him. But tall guy and me wouldn't, So he was such a blessing. We were on un barrio, ¿cómo se dice un barrio? On a suburban place with all of houses, but yeah, we were in this ghetto neighborhood, not as dangerous as Ecatepec, but it was cool. Yeah, it was fresh. It was, it was Mexico, so we stayed with him like I think a week, 2 weeks, and we were doing music. We were going to parties. We were doing a lot. So after a month, we came back to the house and started living there. It was a we go back to the L's house, the Mexican friend house, and we started living there. So chill. They gave us a room and stuff like that. So it was so chill, so nice, Like we went to party a lot. It's like we went to party a lot, like all over again. No music, no producing, just partying. Because we were kids. We wanted to experience a lot. We wanted to experience a lot of things, So no being productive, just partying, buying stuff, going to restaurants, maybe doing some tourism, maybe in the center of the city. So yeah, that was my first time in Mexico, and I won't regret it. And I think in this trip, I told my parents. I asked the permission. Like almost at the end of the trip, almost at the end of the trip, I asked my parents if I could stay here and do my artist career or my artist life. But they say yes. My mom said yes. But I think my dad. No, but I think I didn't make it. Like I didn't do it because those two friends, little and big guy, they weren't in the same frequency. So they told me like, if you stay, I stay. But when I said yeah, I want to stay, like maybe I created a doubt, so they weren't so sure to stay. So we got back to to Peru. But this is just the beginning of this story, because my story with Mexico has just started. My story in that time, I didn't know that my story with Mexico has just started, had just started. So yeah, I came back to Peru, but I was in love with Mexico. Mexico is one of the best places in the world. The people is wonderful. The culture is wonderful. I feel at home when I go to Mexico. I think Mexico is my second home, I feel happy. I felt so happy. I have so many memories there. I have so many friends. I can see myself living there. But this is not all the story, guys. This is just the beginning. So in the next episodes, I'm going to tell you more about this. So I got a lot of anecdotes. I got a lot of fun stories. I got everything. Like the first time we got caught up by the police for buying weed. Like it was our first time buying weed, buying marijuana in Mexico. And we were in the most dangerous place in Mexico, in the most dangerous district in Mexico. I also have other stories that when my friend, like practically, ¿cómo dice volteó? When my friend practically rode over a van we were using to go to the cinema just to watch movies because we were bored at the house. So those stories are, for me, are the best ones. And those are my best memories. One of them are the best. So I didn't know at the time that this was just the beginning of my story with this country, Mexico. And I have plenty of stories with countries. Like, I can tell you a lot of stories here because I'm living in Madrid right now, but it's going to be further in the episodes. It's going to be further because I want to go in order. So yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoy. So yeah, guys, basically the message is like, this is the message. If you're in your 20s and you find your friends, like I have the luckiest friends. I I was so lucky to find these friends because they think like me. You know, they dream like me. They know things that I love. They are passionate about the same things that I love. So if you surround yourself with people that believe in the same goal as you, you're going to get there more easily because you're going to start living the life, like the actual life of the man, of the woman you want to become. So, yeah, guys, experiment, travel. You have the opportunity to travel. If you have the financial freedom, if your parents have enough money to put you, to book you trips, or to book you trips, you know, to book you experiences, go. Don't wait. Go do it. Mostly in your 20s, you know. So yeah, find yourself. Because one thing that I know now is that I want to go back to my country, but I want to stay focused on traveling. I want to travel a lot. You know, my main country is going to be my own country, I think. Because I haven't decided yet, but my main country is going to be my country, Peru. But I want to travel constantly because I didn't know that back then when I was 18. I was saying I want to live in the US, I want to live in Europe, I want to live in Mexico. I just want to leave my country. I was thinking like that, but now I experimented all these things, all these trips, I finally know that I want to go back to my country. I want to start a business in this YouTube industry. I want to start my career in English, like making music songs in English. And I want to stay close to my family. I want to travel. The only thing that I want to do is travel a lot. Travel for work, travel for work, for fun, you know, travel with my family, you know. Even if my family moves out to another country, because we are more likely to do that in the future, I will go with them, you know, and live in the same country as them, but keep traveling a lot. Because I just found out that I want to do that. Stay close to the family and do my own projects on the side and see my little brother grow up and teach him right and teach him to be his best version. You know, I don't want to miss more birthdays. I don't want to miss more days. I don't want to miss out on anything else. I want to stay with my family. I want to see my sister, my little sister grow up. I want to see my little brother grow up. I want to stay close to them, and I want to be with them and with my mom, because my dad is not in this earth anymore. But that's for another story, for another podcast. So yeah, I have a lot of I have a lot of stories. I have a lot of memories. I have everything, you know. So I'm happy. I'm so happy right now because I made the decision years ago to travel. And I know what I want now. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy this, and we'll see what happens, and we will continue these stories in the next episode. So before we go, I want to say something else. Okay, everything listed here is done. The only thing that I regret is to miss out on that trip that my older sister booked me with my parents and with my with my little sister to go to the Brazil World Cup in 2014. Yeah, because I wouldn't. At the time, I didn't know that maybe that was one of the last trips I would do with my dad. You know, because after that we went to Spain, but going to the World Cup with your dad, man, I wish someday I could bring my sister to tell how the trip was. But I don't want to miss out on anything else because I love my family. And when I get older and I decide to have my own, it has to be after my little bro, after I make sure my little bro is a good kid. You know, he's 9 now, but yeah. So yeah, guys, this is it for today. And I was gonna say something not as much, not as important, but I'm going to leave it there for another time because I have these extra topics when I run out of ideas. But not in this one because I think this is going to be a recurrent topic on my account. Traveling and knowing yourself. And and talking about traveling, I'm going to London this month on the 17th. So I'm going to make a podcast in London because it's daily, you know. I'm going to make podcasts because I don't want to pre-record them, you know. Maybe I'm going to pre-record them some because, you know, if the travel has a layover or something like that, I don't want this to affect my constant uploads, you know, my consistency. I don't want this to mess up my consistency. So yeah, and expect more vlogs, London vlogs, and maybe I will go to another countries because I just have time until July. But we have like 500 days, no, maybe 300, like 90 days, 90, maybe less. No, we have more. I think we have 120 days. So I'm going to tell you guys in the 120 episode that my decision about leaving or staying here or leaving, because now I'm with the idea of leaving. But nah, we'll see. I have time. But this year I have to take the decision. So yeah. So yeah, guys, see you tomorrow and subscribe and don't forget to travel a lot and make friends. Bye bye.